The Wrecking Balls sweep the front row for this race as Maxwell Chan takes the pole award with Connor Atwood starting on his outside. For the 20th round of the season, the teams head to the Richmond International Raceway, the second and final short track on the schedule. Some upsets could be expected here today, as power does not matter quite as much as this track, but shorter straightaways and tight corners. Definitely a driver's track, somewhere the underdogs could shine. Of course, one of the major headlines is that Cosmic Nova's protest is continuing. He still refuses to get in the car, so Connor Atwood stepped back in for this week, and the Wrecking Balls have dominated this weekend, particularly that 51-27, as they have been 1-2 in every session this week, so they're definitely the favorites to win. The biggest headline is the fact that we're only running 40 cars here today. Due to issues fitting every pit box, the ISCC announced they would be using their 2018 qualifying rules a little bit early, and they're using it here today. 40 cars are making the race. We'll be using owners points next season. The top 30 will be locked into each race. Everyone else has to qualify in on speed. And the first use of the system brought a big surprise as Chris Argus-Smith, driver number 68, set a blazer of a lap time, putting him in 22nd, but he failed post-qualifying tech, and since he was one of the guys that needed to get in, he was relegated outside of a transfer position, bumping Chris Dodd into the field. But he showed more pace than his teammate Pedro Hierra all weekend, and the team decided that they were going to swap Hierra and Smith, and so Chris Argus-Smith is starting in car number 69 here tonight. And then one of the biggest shockers so far was the struggles of Charles Sandfer. Sandfer botched his qualifying run. He hit the wall, and he starts way down the order in 36th. This could be a major opportunity for a lot of his championship rivals to make up ground. But now, without further ado, let's get down to the track for the round of Virginia. So as the Wrecking Balls cars lead us to green, it's going to be 120 laps of short track action here at Richmond, and we're green, we're rocking in Virginia! Connor Atwood was caught sleeping on the start there. Chan with a much better start, and Matt Duncan sweeps by to 27 to take second. He's already trying to close down the gap on Chan, see if he can do anything. It's 3 wide for third. Ryder Smith going to get the better out of that. And Carl Sander now trying to squeeze on through. Terrible start for the 27. Chan does lead the first lap. Matt Duncan can't quite get anywhere. It's going to be hard to make a move on that 51. Your best bet is probably going to be the restarts, because once Chan gets to a run, he really gets going. Chris Lovier have a great start. He's not really good on these short tracks, but certainly looking good so far. Finn Guy have a great start as well. Sander now starts to fall back, and Connor Atwood gets on the inside line once more, and he quickly starts surging back to the front. He's got a little bit of work to do now. Didn't have a good start. But Chan will lead the way right now. But we have a caution, as 4 wide doesn't really work out. Danny Everett slides up into Chris Argus-Smith and triggers a multi-car incident. Dick Cook and Ian Shepard, 12 car going around. And then we get back to the restart on lap number 11. Chan have another good jump. Louvier not so much. And Matt Duncan, this is what I was talking about. You need to get these restarts on him. And Ryderson's going to make it 3 wide for the lead. Can he get the nose underneath the 6? No, he can't, and Matt Duncan goes to the front. Duncan's always been good on these short tracks, and he needs a good race here. He has not scored points since Michigan. If he wants any hope of staying in a title fight, he needs a very strong performance. But Ryder Smith underneath him now. And Connor Atwood bumping his teammate Chris Lovier out of the way for 4th. Quickly trying to make a move towards the front as we see the 2 Hamilton cars back there enter the picture as well. Chan now back underneath the 18, and he retakes the lead. Duncan also going to make the move on Smith as well. But on the restart, Jason Evans got a violation. He passed someone on the inside before crossing the stripe, and he has to go and serve that penalty. Tough break for Evans. He was really looking forward to this weekend, but that will cost him a lap. Meanwhile, here's Charles Sandfer and Kyle Collins. They both started in the back. Sandfer with a bad qualifying run, and Kyle Collins got sent to the rear. They are looking okay right now. It's not quite in the points. 25th and 26th for those two. They have some work to do for sure. And here's James Shelley. Shelley is in the top 10 right now. He just passed DJ Kurz to take 8th. Now, this is James Shelley's home track. In fact, this is his home city. He is from Richmond, so he's definitely looking to do a lot of good for the home crowd. Louis Duran also make a charge towards the front. The Masterson driver, he's had a bit of a rough few weeks as Shelley forces the nose underneath Finn Guy and Connor Atwood. Connor Atwood now takes second from Matt Duncan, but for how long as Smith immediately tries to slip underneath, and Duncan goes way wide, almost into the wall, manages to keep it together, but Ryder Smith does get underneath the 27. He'll take the second position now. Sean Angel entering the fray. He wasn't really there on the start, but he's quickly been making progress. Now Atwood gets forced wide. Duncan back in this fight. I see Shelley and Cavagnaro trying to get up here. They're not there yet. But Ryder Smith is holding his own right now. Oh, but here comes Angel. Angel peeked underneath him. Now he forces his nose in there, the Canadian, looking for a championship. One of your big title contenders underneath one, trying to battle with his teammate, who's also fighting for a title. There's not going to be any team orders there. They're both going to go for it. But all this is happening behind Maxwell Chan. You can see Chan's got a big gap right now, and Atwood really threw it in the 3 and 4. Getting right back at it. So he gets past Ryder Smith for the third spot. He's going to try to chase down Angel. And here's a look at PJ Williams. Williams driver Sean McLaughlin Racing. He's in the top 15 right now. It's been a fantastic start to the race for him. And another driver on the move, it is Tyler Faber. Now, Faber's always been good at these short tracks. Both of his wins are on short tracks. And he's starting to make his presence felt. He gets past his teammate Cavagnaro. Connor Atwood now underneath Sean Angel. And he retakes second. Can he pull away this time, though? Or is someone going to get underneath him again? We all know how strong that car is, but he needs something. He needs to be able to settle into a run. The 27's basically been the second best car all weekend. I see James Shelley's back there as well, but yeah, Duncan now looks like he's starting to chase down the 27 as and the Hamilton car is going free wide. Cavagnaro really pushed it up there, almost got into Faber. But Faber gets the inside line. He passes Sean Angel, and now he's continuing his push towards the front. But Alan Cavagnaro, this is his final scheduled PT Cup start of the season. And while he needs a good race today, he does have a pretty realistic shot at the PT Cup. But he may end up needing Auto Club. Atwood could not get away. Matt Duncan now overtakes him for P2. Ryder Smith also going to get by him as well. Shelley still lurking behind them. Charles Sandfer now into the points. He's going to get past Zachary Fitzwater there in the 74, his second start for Team Thunder. But with that, Sandfer is now up to, I believe, 18th place. That's what the championship leader needs. But trouble for Barrett and Praxis. The 44 has to come down pit road with a flat tire. Tough break for him. That is going to undoubtedly put an end to his PT Cup efforts. And meanwhile, trouble strikes for the 12 of Aiden Shepard. That car loses power, and he is not going to be able to get down off the racetrack. He does pull down before the leaders get there, but he's going to stop on the bottom here, and that will bring out our second caution of the night. Definitely not what a lot of people needed. Back to the restart. Baron Praxis ahead of the line. He gets a huge jump. Chan with a bad restart. But Matt Duncan is right on his tail. He's going to try to get a jump on him again like he did on the last restart. Can he do anything? No, he doesn't. But wait, Chan's pulling down. He's got a problem. Car number 51 into the pits. Apparently a tire's gone down in the 51. Something is not secure. Yeah, we believe there was an unsecure lug nut, and he had to bring it back down so that the tire didn't fall off. And that is a heartbreak for Maxwell Chan, the single fastest car all weekend. He was dominant and looked like he was going to win. He was going to run away with this thing. But now that throws this race up on its head, and Tyler Faber gets away at the lead of the race. Where did he come from? He had a fantastic restart. Now Sean Angel's going to make it 1-2 for Hamilton. Reese Black and Louis Duran on a charge as well. Duran make it 3 wide for position. And Reese Black is going to get underneath Atwood for third. Ryder Smith also making a move. Matt Duncan, he got held up there and he's losing ground right now. Atwood runs it wide, but he's going to get the momentum off the corner. There's Duran. Duran is trying to get up to 6th place here, and he will get the 6th spot, but probably not for long, as James Shelley is right there, ready to strike, and he's going to do just that. And there's Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater's had a pretty good restart and he's running pretty solidly in the 11th position. We talked about earlier, this is his 2nd start for Team Thunder. He's actually having a fairly respectable performance after failing to score points in Sweden in his first try. Perhaps Fitzwater can get a good race here tonight. Meanwhile, Chris Louvier going way up the racetrack. That's not what he needed. Losing valuable points here. He's probably one of the people kind of on the bubble in the championship hunt. He's pretty far behind. Charles Sandfer is going up, though. Quickly cutting his way through traffic. He's going to get himself a lot closer to the top 10. Let's see where he is when he crosses the stripe. That is going... Charles Sandfer is going to be in 20th, so he's back in the points. Now he's in 19th as he passes Carl Sander. And Ray Krieger is going to get into the top 10 now. And with that move on Duran, so will Fitzwater. So that's 2 of the Thunder cars inside the top 10. Can Matt Duncan make it 3? He had a terrible restart and really dropped back. But that 6 car has been very fast all weekend. He could get himself back up there. He is certainly on the charge. But meanwhile, Tyler Faber is pulling a gap over Sean Angel. The Hamilton cars got a stranglehold over the rest of the field. Tyler Faber looking for his 3rd career win. It would be his 1st of 2017. He's not gotten a win yet. Meanwhile, Reese Black getting harassed for 3rd by Connor Atwood. Atwood definitely gonna be pushing it back up there, because with the 51 out of the picture, this is now the best race car with a shot to win. Now, stuff could happen, but for the time being, 51 is out of the picture. It's a golden opportunity for Connor Atwood to get up there, but he needs to get up there. Still needs to gain a lot of time. He's going to take the 3rd spot right there. Atwood up to P3. Wow, here's a look at Maxwell Chan. That definitely was not a big issue. Said just an unsecured tire there, and now he's back on track. He has been cutting through traffic. I think they got some fresh tires on it, but either way, this car is still incredibly fast. If he could just get some quick cautions, he could be back in this thing. Yeah, he could get his lap back on raw speed. And there's Charles Sandfer again. Chan is lurking behind him. He could mess with Sandfer a little bit. I would not be surprised if he does that. Tyler Faber, still trying to get past Praxis. I believe Praxis is on the tail end of the lead lap. So if he were to get a caution right now, he would be back on the lead lap. He's going to defend from Faber pretty hard. You can see Dylan Young going a lap down. He's not had a good race. And now Chan is starting to intrude on the battle at the front. He's 38th, 1 lap down. So he could get up there, get back on the lead lap, and then get a caution. No! Trouble for the hometown hero, James Shelley. He's got a tire down. He's going to have to pull it down pit road. Get that fixed. He's going to go a couple laps down. Tough break for him. Meanwhile, but Matt Duncan, I told you he's going to be on a charge, and indeed he is. He's up to 8th, and with Shelley's little issue, all 3 Thunder cars are inside the top 10. Connor Atwood has caught Angel. We are now past the halfway point of this race here. And Atwood's going to get the nose underneath him. He's got that one pretty easily. So now Atwood's got a clean track ahead of him to chase down the 11. You know, an update on Chris Louvier. 98's been falling back, and then here's the other two title contenders, Collins and Sandfer. They've not really left each other's sight all race long. They are now they're now on the cusp of the top 15. Meanwhile, Ryder Smith and Al Cavagnaro in 4th and 5th. All 4 Hamilton cars are inside the top 5. What a dominant run for the Canadian team there. It's like this could be a fantastic, this could be an almost perfect night for these guys. And Cavagnaro passing Smith for 4th, doing exactly what he needs to do. Meanwhile, Faber he's got a clear track ahead of him now, and he has put Praxis a lap down, so that effectively puts Praxis out of the running. Probably going to be the end of his PT Cup run. Tough break. He's had a lot of issues with that 44 car. And he needs, now, of course, you do get points for Auto Club, but you need to be within 100 points for that to matter. And at this rate, he probably would not be. Faber opened up the gap over Atwood that time, but Conrad Atwood still trying to hammer down those laps. Let's see what the gap looks like this time. Crossing the stripe, Atwood. Yeah, Faber is still pulling that gap out. Ryder Smith may get 3 wide of the lap cars, wasting no time. He's not going to let the lap traffic hold him back. He knows he's got to get up there quickly. He needs to lose as little time as possible. Tyler Faber, though, gets tripped up by the lap cars. He gets forced up by Jason Perkle. Perkle was on his inside. He was not clear. Praxis gets underneath, and Atwood is there to capitalize. 27 gained a lot of time there in 1 and 2, but he slips wide and free, and it's going to be... Faber was stuck in the middle there as Praxis made it free wide. Baron Praxis back on the lead lap. Faber holds on for now, but the 27 is right there now. That also helped the 14 of Angel gain a lot of ground. He's now within a second of both of them, and Atwood throws it in! Big dive in free! That's going to be free wide with the lap car. As Atwood, can he get it? Can he clear him in 1 and 2? He tries to pull the slide job, but he can't. Atwood just gonna need to throw it in free, and he does. And Connor Atwood is going to take over the lead here in Richmond. Tamar DeLise is back here. He's running. DeLise had a very impressive race so far. He's running inside the top 15. DeLise has a reputation for his skill on short tracks, and it's certainly been a very good day for him so far. Faber loses the second position to Sean Angel. Angel's still in this title hunt. If you get 2 podium finishes in a row, that would be a huge deal for him, especially if Sandfer has a bad day. Faber, though, not giving up. He's going to go back underneath the 14. And he'll probably be able to get it as Angel gets held up by the lap car of David Valzak. Valzak back in a race car for the first time since Michigan. He got released from Team Thunder due to sponsor issues. Oh, James Shelley is catching them. That team did elect to change the tires on that unscheduled stop. And as a result, he is way faster. Tire wear does play a big role here. And now, Shelley's going to play at the leader. He's underneath Connor Atwood, and that will not be good for him. Atwood gets sent wide, loses a little time to the 14, but Faber does have Baron Praxis to deal with before he can catch the Aussie. And he slips wide. That 44 has been an absolute nuisance for Faber, and Angel's right there, but Faber with a big run through the middle, and he is clear on Sean Angel. Faber is very determined to win. And there's Ryder Smith, still in 4th, trying to close down. It's certainly been a good points day for him so far, with Sandfer not being the best of days. This could be a huge night for the Scotsman. But he definitely does need to worry about that 14. Sean Angel still very much in this title fight. But yeah, this could be a very good night for Hamilton. Now, we're getting close to 10 laps to go. Atwood has been pulling away from the 11. Could this be the night? Second race for the Wrecking Balls. Connor Atwood has not won a race in 3.5 years. He has 1 career win. It came at Savannah all the way back in 2014. It's been 80 races since then. Could this be the night for him? It's been such a good weekend all around. But now he loses some ground. He's stuck behind the lap car of Allie Nelson. And Allie Nelson doesn't really care who you are. She races everyone. She races everyone equally. And well, that's equally harshly. And Nelson not really moving over for him. That's causing trouble. Faber gaining ground fast. He caught up by 2/10 that time by. And he is getting closer and closer by the second. Look how much Faber is gaining. He is hammering down those lap times. Connor Atwood and Tyler Faber are both determined to go to victory lane, trying to prove a point. Both of these two have had messy seasons, and they are trying to prove that they belong in a top ride. And yeah, Faber is just determined. Atwood is still stuck behind the 96. And Faber now is going to be able to get past the 44, I think, but Brax has been a nuisance for him all night. But I think he will get him this time by. And now, coming to 6 laps to go, Atwood's going to finally get underneath Nelson. There's nothing that 96 can do now. But could that cost him? Sean Angel also entering the fight. He's getting very close to the 11, and he's past Praxis as well. Atwood does have the buffer of that 96 car, but can he hold on? Can he hold out? The 11 looks very good. 5 laps to go now for the 27. He opens it up a little bit now that he's clear of the 96. But can Faber get by a little easier? That could mean everything. Atwood slips up a little bit again. And Faber does get underneath the 96. He had a much easier time with the 96 there. And now there is nothing separating him from Connor Atwood. Oh, but there's a spin! Something's gone wrong. And it is a traffic jam in 3 and 4. The leaders are gonna be they are gonna be stuck right in the middle of this. And somehow nobody got involved, but that's gonna bring out a caution. Caution is out with 3 to go, and Atwood may have just been denied again. What just happened? Well, here it is. David Valzak minding his own business when BMW reliability strikes again. And as the engine goes out, that 59 for the second week in a row, and Dylan Young, not paying attention, rams into the 59, blocking the track and getting in the William Brock Argus Smith around for another for the second time tonight. And then multiple cars going around Seth Cole. What happened there? Oh, Valzak went down on a Seth Cole, and that's where the traffic jam begins. Everybody slows up, and then here comes the entire pack, and the leaders are going to come into this. Atwood just barely slows down in time to avoid Polyakov. That could have spelled disaster for him. But somehow all leaders managed to get through unscathed. But Atwood, he could have been home free, but it's not over now. They will not be able to get the track cleaned up with a caution and 3 to go. We will be going to overtime once again. And he's got 4 hungry Hamilton cars to hold off for 2 more laps. Who knows what could happen? Connor Atwood, could he have been denied again? I don't know. But he's got to hold on. We know Atwood is determined. He does not want to fail again. Trying to prove to the Wrecking Balls that he deserves that 42 car next year. He wants this ride. But now the field stacks up once more for overtime. Pace car down. 1 more restart. We're green. 2 laps to go. Atwood did not get a good restart. Angel had a fantastic one. They're 4 wide for third. 4 wide for fourth. Contact between Kevin Darrow and Smith. Smith in the wall. Somehow they kept it together. But Angel with a big run. He is right on the 27's bumper. But Connor Atwood still up front. He only has to hold on for 1 more lap as there's a spin in the back. There's a car around. I think it was Sandfer. Can Atwood hold on? Angel's got to try something 3 and 4. I don't think he's going to do it. No! He's got nothing! 80 races of trying, and Connor Atwood is back in victory lane in the Insomniac Elite Series! Can you believe it? He's the Aussie, finally! He's done it again! Atwood, Angel, gave him a little bit of congratulations there. But can you believe, that is absolutely incredible. Here's a replay. Curtis got hooked by Seth Cole, and that sent him down to Sandfer. Charles Sandfer went for a spin, and he would finish outside of the points. But there's Connor Atwood back on track. He's gonna celebrate. And the emotions are intense. There's a 27, lights it up. He's finally back in victory lane. It has been 3.5 years. It's been 3.5 years and 80 starts. This was 80th start since his last win, and he is finally back in victory lane. 20th win for the Wrecking Balls, a landmark for that team, and it comes with the new driver that was subbing for the protesting Connor Atwood. Just absolutely incredible stuff. Congratulations to him and that team. That was a hard-fought victory. We saw the determination from Atwood, and he held it together this time. So once again, congratulations to Connor Atwood on finally getting his second career victory. And I mean, he's a bulky man. He's tough. Usually not very emotional, but he was practically tearing up, hugging team owner Chris Louviere in victory lane. He fought so hard for this moment, and I'm sure he could not be happier. Sean Angel coming home second for the second week in a row. Sure, he would have liked to win, but is a huge points haul for the Canadian. Reese Black with a fantastic podium run for him, and Zachary Fitzwater sniping at 4th place in the Chaos. What a fantastic drive for the Aussie there, and a much-needed performance to show everyone just what he can do. Tyler Faber denied the victory, comes home in 5th, and while it's good points, I don't think he's going to be too happy with that loss. Matt Duncan finally back in the points, and it's with a near top 5 as he comes home with a very solid 6th place. Jeffrey Finguy with another top 10 finish today here with 7th. Ray Krieger making it all 3 Thunder cars in the top 10 of 8th. Alan Cavagnaro fell back a bit in the chaos. We saw him get together with Ryder Smith. He finished 9th, and Nick Pericles rounds out your top 10. Then Kyle Collins finishes 11th from the rear. It's a good performance for him, good damage control. And Chris Louviere, not very good on short tracks, but he also did a good job of damage control, finishing in 12th. When we finished the regular distance, Phyllis Feeder was outside the top 20. She was one of the last cars on the lead lap, but she had a fantastic restart and moved all the way up to 13th on that final restart. Tamora Lees, a fantastic run for the Bosnian, comes over with a top 15 run. Carl Sander fell back a bit to finish 15th. Ryder Smith lost a ton of ground. He is certainly going to be disappointed of 16th. Danny Everett was also outside the top 20 on this restart, but he manages to sneak into the points of 17th. PJ Williams gets his first points in since 2016, and so nice job for him and the Sean McLaughlin Racing Team. Seth Cole was very anonymous today, finishing 19th, and Tristan Wilhoit rounds out the points in 20th. Moving on to the point standings. After a no score today, Charles Sandfer's point lead shrinks to 39 points ahead of Ryder Smith, and Sean Angel is now within a race of him as well, as he is down by 66 points. Kyle Collins, 71 behind. Maxwell Chan, oh man, what could have been for Chan, but problem struck, and he now finds himself 90 points off the lead, with one of his biggest strengths failing to really get him anywhere. So Chan really have to do a lot of stuff in these final 5 races to have any shot at the championship. And then I would say the last realistic contender of the championship is Chris Louviere, 129 points back. He does have a few strengths coming up, a decent number of tracks that he's good at, so he could still be in this thing. I mean, a lot of drivers are still within mathematical contention. If things go their way, people like Matt Duncan, James Shelley, Seth Cole, Nick Pericles, they could all get back into this, but it's going to be a little difficult. Meanwhile, drivers like Tyler Faber, Reese Block, they're fine, get inside the top 10. They realistically are probably not going to have a shot this title, but the top 10 points would mean a lot to them. Brandon Wood still 13th despite not racing a while, but Wood will actually be back in the car next week in Japan. Cosmic Nova now down to 14th. Nico Polyakov and Ray Krieger 15th and 16th. Curtis still 17th. Connor Atwood and Carl Sanderty split car. Of course, Atwood not getting points for the free, but they are in 18th. And Jeffrey Finguy is on the bubble of championship contention. 350 points, that is the bubble. Because you'll notice Allie Nelson's name is in red. That is because she no longer has a mathematical chance to win the title. You had to be within 350 points. Like I said, Finguy on the bubble, Nelson is outside of that. Really tells you just how strong the top teams have been this year, and it's going to narrow down even more, as now with 5 rounds left to go, we head to the land of the rising sun and return to the ever chaotic Tokyo World Raceway for round 21.